Welcome back to Bored to Death. 3 brand new guests this week. How's everyone feeling?
Feeling good,
Yeah, man. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Good. The nerves shaking away.
Yeah, I've picked up a bit. I told you I'd be fine the second we start.
Yeah.
This week we've got Scott,
Yep.
Michael, and Manos.
What's happening?
All currently staying in beautiful Inverclyde,
Indeed.
Yeah, man. Best place to be.
Yeah.
a
Lovely.
place that I moved to 2 years ago. So, homies. We're just going to start off like we always do. Scott, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah.
Do you remember how it all started? When did you first get your skateboard? Or do you remember being on a skateboard for the first time? Just the whole origin story.
Yeah. So it was definitely when Skate 2 came out, and that was kind of, me and my friends were just playing it one day, and that just got us into it, you know? Like, we just wanted to try it, like, for real. And then I think I got my first skateboard, and it was it an airwalk board? Yeah, an airwalk board. So it was like pure, one of those chunky ones, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't good, but it was good, man. We both got those, and then just from there, just kept at it. Like, really enjoyed it. Like, we'd always go to Evolution as well, you know, Evolution skate park.
Yeah.
Like in
Whereabouts is
Saltcoats.
that?
It's in Saltcoats.
Oh,
So we always went down there and like skating all the time. And then from there, yeah, like I've been on and off it though.
Yeah, that was the next question I was going to ask.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Like, is it like,
Yeah.
from, I guess, 2009 to 2022, has there been parts where, this actually links in with the word of the day.
Oh.
Do you like go into a kind of skate zone and then come out for it for like months or years and then go back in?
Yeah, like that's definitely happened a lot. Like there'd be times where because growing up, like for a long time, it was skating a lot. And then when I got to like 17, I kind of just stopped. Like no particular reason, just wasn't as interested in it anymore, you know? Like just doing other stuff, and then just gradually like bits and like I'd still skate now and again, you know what I mean, like get out, and it was good. But then only like recently, like the last maybe 2 years, getting back into it again, like properly, you know.
You're like a fortune teller. That was my next question.
Rolling them in.
What about, my next question was, what about lockdown? Did like have an impact, the whole pandemic, on you?
Yeah, definitely. Like
more?
Definitely. Like there was a point where during that I wasn't skating at all as well. Yeah, definitely. But then gradually, like you get bored, like you know what I mean, like get out and skate again. Like, it was just really good to do it. From there, I've just been skating more, but like I like doing other stuff as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's cool.
Skating's always been the main thing that I've went back to like consistently.
Yeah,
so.
It's cool. It's another story. I think I don't even know how many there's been now. Where it started with a video game.
Yeah,
I love it. It's just such a weird concept now. Like anyone born after, obviously the first pro skater was 1999, so like anyone born after 99 is going to like give kind of like praise or respect to it for a bit. Not everyone, but a lot of people have spoken to. Michael, over to you, same question.
On that, the same thing with the game. We started playing the game.
Was it Skate 2?
No, but like Tony Hawk's. So just games in general. I think because it was like Dave Mirra, Matt Hoffman, Tony Hawk's. Like there was a few like extreme sports games came out at the same time, PlayStation 1 sort of era. Then seeing the older kids skating in the streets, and I thought, what? I was only like 9 or, you know, a little guy rolling around on like a WWF board with the Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys on the back.
Sign of the times.
The boy. I just skate about with them, behind them, watching them. Like I never was like, right, I'm gonna get this trick or anything. I genuinely was just happy to be there. They ended up sort of taking me under the wing. It was a small town I grew up in. It was, you know, the only thing for it. So they took me in. They actually started selling me their boards when they started getting a bit wore down and that. Like, I think my first board was like a pink Barbie blueprint one, but it was like it was done in a cool way, but it was like bright pink. And then I got another one, and there were like cracks all over it, razor tail to the max, but I thought it was the best thing. Then didn't start skate. I didn't touch it from about 10 till 2 years ago. Just about 2 months before they started kicking on about like COVID and stuff. Bought a board, skated a little, very little. Like it was car park. I was never at a skate park. Just being in the car park near my house. And then lockdown basically told me I had nothing else to do than learn how to skate. So that was me, and that's been me since basically. Just got the bug. I think I've caught what little kids catch. Do you know? I'm just going to skate every day, every opportunity. Like I'm in house from work, and I'm out within like 15 minutes, if that. Like washed, fed and out on the board just as quick as possible.
Yeah.
It's a full circle moment to kind of have you on because, as I said in the way up, you were one of the first people who started talking to
we started speaking quite a bit about it. Yeah.
Getting into it. So here we are. Look at us now.
Last, I know. We've made it.
And last but certainly not least,
That's
Manos.
me.
Yes, same question.
Well, for me, it probably goes back to, I think I was about, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 9 or 10 maybe. Mum and Dad got me a Cars Lightning McQueen skateboard, and that was a bad boy, by the way, an absolute bad boy. So they used to just take me down to like the Battery Park and that, and I would never be doing anything big. I'd be trying to go down a ramp, do you know what I mean? And then
just rolling down the back.
yeah, but my issue was, I always remember it to this day, it was just too tight on the truck, so I could barely turn, and then I just gave up with that, and I was like, nope. Never really thought about it again until like the first lockdown came back. One of my pals, we were all just hanging up at one of the basketball courts, and then he used to bring his skateboard over and would just try to do tricks and all that there, and then we were all pure like, oh, why don't we just start skating? Do you know what I mean? It's something to do, something new, and it'll keep us fit in that. So we just started practicing up there on the flat ground, just try to like get control of the board, and then we started going to the Battery Park and all of that, and then it was just going every day non-stop because that was all I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? Then started meeting these two guys here, and it was just ever fun ever since. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When did you guys all meet then?
I was a year in April. I know it because I remember I've got the Instagram post to prove the first time I was at the skate park that I actually skated. The first time I turned up to the Battery, I'd been in a car park for a full year on my own. I turned up to the Battery on a busy day, sun was shining, perfect conditions,
Breakdown.
and I was like, I can't do it. And I literally stood on my board, and it was so smooth. I just wasn't used to it.
Yeah,
as soon as I stood on it, it moved, and I was like, I'm not used to this. I looked over, and I actually heard this guy in the bowl like 100. If you've ever been to the Battery when Manos is there, the guy that's whizzing around the bowl at 100 mile an hour. I was like, what's that noise? I honestly, and I went up, looked, and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I getting into here? And I think we maybe spoke a little bit, but I took off and I didn't skate at all that day. And then it was like a month later, someone I met on Instagram seen me skating local on like in Greenwich. He says, oh, I'm from Paisley. We're going to the Battery. Do you fancy it? And see, from that day, it was like, I turned up with someone. So that was the confidence thing. You know, I was like, I've got a little bit. I didn't even know them, but just turning up with someone, I was like, wait a minute. From that point, I met everyone that was local, and like the rest is history.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like an everyday thing.
To anyone that doesn't know Battery Park, by the way, like Battery Park is like one of the, I would say, best skate parks in Scotland. You won't.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I was gonna say I obviously haven't been to every skate park in Scotland, but the backdrop, if you will, at Battery Park, like you won't.
It's bliss.
It's really
something
bliss.
like that. Like it's on the water, and in late summer nights, like that sunset is just like
the sky goes pure pink,
nice,
and then
like,
you just see it reflecting off the water. It's just a vibe.
You get that. It's one of them spots where you get a golden hour to get some sick clips.
They look so good.
You like get that sunset in the back.
Yeah. So anyone that is in Scotland that's listening that hasn't been, I would highly recommend Battery Park. And to all that I found out this week are international listeners. If you're coming to Scotland, then definitely go to Battery Park.
I say Largs is quite good for that front. Largs is quite there, but I haven't had my first time there last week, but it was sort of same. You're close to the water. I think if you can catch it on a not so windy day, and you're laughing.
And it's quite tight as well. Like all the obstacles are quite like together. You know what I mean? But like it's just a different kind of.
So it's kind of like
park, but
the Battery and the Largs is like
spread,
you know, the opposite. You know what I mean? It's like sort of spread out. Largs is like compact Battery with a few extras because it's
more
so
transition
compact.
and stuff.
But like you say, you get them views, and it's a perfect way to let the legs recover for 20 minutes or 10 or 5.
Well, I haven't done this in a few episodes, so I was going to bring it back. We're going to have a 10Q, some of the old school questions. Scott, favourite place to skate in Scotland?
Well, recently it's been like Kingston. I'd say, I just really like Kingston. It's really fun, man. Like just the roughness of the ground as well. You know, like just the feeling of skating a DIY is really fun. And the new spine as well. It's sick.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Have you seen it? Yeah. Have you been to it before?
I think they did it on the week, and then one day after we recorded with Karma a few weeks ago, then we all went down to it, and it had all just been done. But it is a vibe down there. Like good, I don't know if it's just the fact that you're under a motorway.
I mean, you're just skating outside.
It's all the spray paint.
It's just it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Michael, favorite album of all time, not songs, like an album that you can like put on from the start to finish, like no skips. Like
it's a hard one.
I'll be lucky if I play one album start to finish.
And I remember you saying before coming on this, you're like, I'm not gonna know
it's
it.
my exact one question that I can't. I don't think. Well, no. Chocolate starfish.
oh yeah, please,
starfish.
Yeah.
Like I think like from like I was saying to you, the first tape was a Limp Bizkit tape growing up, and the albums like one by one. At one point in my life, there's always one that attaches to me, and I'm sure that's the name of it. I'm probably going to make myself this is not even going to be, but
Chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavoured water.
The hot dog, I knew there was another part.
Yeah, it's a classic.
I think it's one of them. Do you know what it is as well? I've got about 6 CDs in my granny's car for when I'm down the borders, and that's one of them. And that's one that there's certain tracks, and it's quite heavy. There's certain tracks that my gran lets, like, she enjoys putting on. I'm sure they do a cover. Is it Faith or something?
That is on one of their albums.
And she requests that. Like, she's like, can we just start off with Faith? I'm like, well, that's on the bonus disc, but for you, yeah, of course. And it's like, it's all lovey-dovey, and then it's like proper into the heavy metal screams, and I look over and our fingers are tapping on the on the steering wheel.
She's drumming away.
Yeah, she's in the moment.
I was saying to you in the train up, I've got a spare ticket to Limp Bizkit, so I think
maybe I'd be the wrong person. Maybe she could do
it. Literally. Best fast food restaurant. No judging your opinion, like your favourite fast food restaurant.
I've got to say Burger King.
Oh yes,
Burger King's got to be the best for me.
Respect she finally deserves. Everyone fucking hates on Burger King these days.
Double bacon XL, that is what you're wanting.
I've not been in so long that
the vegan options
is there now?
Insane.
Are they actually?
It is the best vegan fast food I've ever had.
Oh shit, really?
It's like, see, the first twice I had the vegan chicken royale, I swear on my life, my family included, I spat it out back in the paper, and I was like, that's meat. That is meat.
Yeah.
And then like looked at it, and you know, like you can gonna get the texture sometimes. I was like, shit, that is so good. Like it just as chicken.
See, I didn't even think they'd done like proper vegan stuff.
No, I've seen it advertised. It does look quite good.
Really?
They're like 10 times better than McDonald's.
Yeah, because I've had the McPlant before. But I remember I got it once, and it came out with like literally nothing apart from like it had the patty on it, but it had no lettuce or anything.
And that
was the first time I got it, so I was like, "This is just not worth it. Like, this is terrible."
What about your drink of choice?
My drink of choice, alcoholic? Or?
Yeah, alcoholic. So like the staple drink. If you can't be fucked thinking of like something to order at the bar, or if you're going to go into like a supermarket, like just to pick up booze, what's like Old Faithful?
Right, okay, probably Estrella beer. Like alcoholic, yeah. Estrella beer is probably my beer of choice. I'd say, yeah.
Michael, what's your favourite country you've ever been to? Like just the favourite country you've ever visited?
I'm gonna just say Scotland, because I've only been to Spain, England, Scotland, and Wales. Do you know? So I like Scotland.
Do you not like Spain?
I was only there for like a little bit. I was like on a.
No, Scotland's one.
Scotland's one for me. Yeah. If it was just a little warmer, a little less windy, the girls were a little bit prettier. I'm only joking.
Manos, best gig you've ever been to?
Does a festival count?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Wireless Festival last year, man. Top quality, so it was. Absolutely good. Down in London. There was quite a lot of people playing. I think my favourite would have been Central C. He's my number one artist at the minute, man. I love him.
Back to Scott. And this is a good one. This is an advice one. This is one that I will try. Okay. What is your hangover cure?
I don't really have one anymore. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's bullshit. Like the question's bullshit. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're going to get one, but I love how everyone...
Yeah, probably Iron Brew. I mean, it's got to be. Like Iron Brew, you know what I mean?
That's one of mine.
Easy.
I think that goes the other way.
Really?
Oh, no.
Like Iron Brew, I'm like, oh,
too fizzy for me when I'm hungover.
When I'm smoking, when I'm drinking, I smoke. Like, see if it's like I'm starting at like 7 o'clock at night drinking, and I'm drinking till like 4 or 5 in the morning, it's a bit of a sesh. I will smoke more than 40 cigarettes. Like 2 packs. I used to always buy 2 20 decks to go out. I'll smoke them all, and then there's people that also do that, and they say that their hangover is actually making me feel a bit sick. They say that their hangover cure in the morning when they wake up is lighting a cigarette.
That was me. I used to do that.
I mean, I get it, but it does not help.
Like, I think it's going to help until I'm lying in bed thinking, there's nothing that's going to help me right now. What can I do? Right. Roll over, cigarette, and as soon as I light it, I'm like, like stubbing it out, like I'm never even gonna look at you again.
Anytime I've tried it, I've like stubbed it in. It's like that long.
It's like, it's the only time you'll see it.
No man, I used to absolutely love it. I don't know why.
Oh, you like a hungover cigarette?
You don't smoke anymore, do you?
I hate tobacco. I can't do it. Yeah, I chucked it. I started doing it too much, and I was like, nah, this is not worth it. It's never. Don't smoke if you don't smoke. You know what I mean? I'll put it simple as that.
I keep trying
and no elf bars.
Oh,
Stop the elf bars. They're bad news.
Is that what you were?
That's what I was going to say before I came on. But they are really bad news.
No, they are.
And this one's open to everyone. Who's your, doesn't have to be all time, maybe at the moment, favourite skater?
Got to be Yuto Nagahara for me. He's a guy from Japan, and he's just absolutely shreds a bowl. Just unbelievable stuff. Just flies through the bowls.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
I would say Jason Park for me. Just his creativity, and especially during lockdown when I was like heavy on skating and watching YouTube skaters. He was on at his house. I think he was like quarantining with his family, so he bought a quarter pipe and just started doing all these nuts tricks. Do you know, it was like cringy maybe to some people, but it was like it was enjoyable. At the same time, you were like, this guy's stuck at his house with a quarter ramp. Like, what else is he gonna do? So that pushed me. I was like going out and trying to make my own sort of things, even just random tricks.
I think mine is Dylan Reader. To be honest, he's always been my favourite skater. I'm not really caught up to date with like what's happening.
You don't have to like caught up to date. Just like one that you've like identified with one in your life, and you went, I like his or her, their shit. Yeah,
it's just like his style and everything. You know what I mean? His style of skating was just awesome. You know, and I always like really liked it. I guess he's
fair.
Sure.
Probably last question to all of you guys. What did you do in lockdown in regards to skating? Did you feel you skated more? Did you feel you skated less? Were you watching older skate videos? Were you playing Tony Hawk's? Were you reading Thrasher? Were you meeting new people? How did the pandemic affect, like, in a cliche way, I guess, the skater you were going to become post?
Who's going first? I'll go. Well, as I said earlier, for me, the pandemic kind of started me properly skating. So it was just whenever, because I live right across from the Battery Park, so whenever it's dry, anytime, I'm just always over there non-stop, just carving.
Just private skate park.
Do you know what? That's the way it feels. That's the way it felt, and I was just loving it non-stop. And then downloaded Skate 3 because I could get it on one of my consoles, and I was like, I am loving this game, because that was like the first, for me, that was like the first skate game I played, and Skate 3, personally for me, that's the best. I don't care what anyone says, that is the best one there is.
Skate 2.
Questionable. Yeah. But no, from there and then I just started skating non-stop. It was all I could eat, breathe, sleep. Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah, I don't actually remember if I like skated that much during the pandemic, to be honest. Like, I think there was times I definitely went out just to get out, you know what I mean? Like when I could, when it was fine. But no, like I just skated as much as I could during it, but like on and off, you know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I think you're the opposite.
Yeah, I actually just unleashed the beast for me, because I was staying across from Tesco, and Tesco weren't using the rooftop of their car park.
Oh, Tesco in Greenock?
In Greenock, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I had that whole thing to myself, and I'm only like a minute walk from there, so I had that whole rooftop to myself, and the weather was just
that was a fucking
like, people were complaining, but I was coming back in for water and stuff like that. What's going on? And literally, I've got clips of me, and I genuinely, I couldn't do anything. Then there's like, fast forward 6 months, I'd moved from Tesco roof to behind the bingo, which was again another minute.
I remember hearing about that,
and I just started building stuff because there was nobody in the bingo hall and stuff like that. The janitor came round and he would just have a talk with me. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. And literally their whole car park's got metal. Like,
I
ripped down like a door and stuff and took the steel. I was taking tools round to take steel off and just building stuff, but I would always put it away as well, because I was...
that was your thing.
I'd pack it up, and it was like, I'd have a brush there, sweep any mess up, whatever, and the janitor was like, man, we don't care. He was talking about like jobs I could apply for within the bingo and stuff. But I just remember it being like, when I was at the skate park, like, I didn't know anyone, but they were like, you're the guy that skated the bingo. Like, it was like, because people knew me from like these clips behind the bingo that nobody skated because the ground was just trash, and I was just building different stuff all the time. So it was for me, it was like literally unleash the beast, because I've never stopped.
Cool, that was very enjoyable. Right, here are like Word of the day, word of the week, word of the episode.
What was it?
Not gonna lie, this one's kind of
2 words.
middle ground. Great. So what I'll do is I'll tell you the word of the week, and then you can tell me what you think about it. Right? The word of the week is interest.
Okay.
Well, you can have an interest in a lot of things, can't you? And I think for all of us here, the common ground is their interest in skateboarding.
Yeah,
That
this
is
is what we
correct,
want.
yeah.
This is what we want. So I'll just like hit off some questions and go round, or whoever wants to answer can answer. So the first question I was going to ask is, when do you notice your interest levels in your skating drop off? But then I kind of rephrased it to, do you recognise when your interest levels in skating's just like dropping off?
Yeah, I think like if you've, I don't know, maybe it's got everyone like kind of gets the days where you're just like not feeling it at all. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, and then I think that's kind of when I stop the most. You know what I mean? For like long periods.
Like
of time.
it's like a domino effect. Like you could be so invested in it in a pure skate hole,
Yep.
and then it gets to one day where it just stops, and then it could be like 2 weeks later where you're like, oh fuck, I haven't even
like
thought of that.
Thought of it, I know. Yeah,
That's me with everything else but skating.
No, I love to hear it. I love to
everything.
hear
And
it.
it's because I'm stuck in that kid stage though.
Yeah.
So like my interest is still very like, well, this is new, this
I
is
love
fresh,
it,
like
though,
this
yeah.
is, do you know, like, well, who was skating with? Like if someone says no, like okay, someone else, like we need to.
yeah.
Well, I feel for me, like whenever my interest's falling off or like I've not skated in a while, when I then do go back to it, my interest just shoots right back up, like skyrockets, and then it goes even like more than it was previously. Do you know what I mean?
This is why I love having these kind of conversations, because like that's exactly what I'm like, and it's like it's always reassuring or good or whatever when you hear somebody being like, I'm the
Like,
exact
this is the
same.
I think with the skating as well is it really mixes into all your other interests.
Definitely.
Like every interest I've got now, I'm like swerving back to like, how does this relate to skating, or how can I mix skating into what I'm doing?
That is the beauty in it, I would say.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
just
something
so
like
free.
no other. It's like, even I would say, like, and especially during lockdown, I mean, I worked from home for 40 hours a week for just over 2 years, and I would go into like the same kitchen, the same dining table, the same laptop myself for 8 hours a day. So I just like would get into bands. Like I would always play music when I was working, and I would just get a band and I would start their discography from their first album, like all like 7 or 8 albums, and then just get hooked on them and just like listen to them again. And then that one day would come where it's like, oh, I can't do this. Let's like, move on to the next one, or you can go on another wee like kind of hole and just like.
That's how I kind of learnt music. Was my sister was downloading discographies of every artist, and it was like, oh, can I get his CD? And you would end up with 7 or 8 CDs, and you'd think, oh well, cool, I've got 7. Like I'll like one of them, and you're just like feeding through 7 albums trying to find songs you like. Just got lost in the mess.
What about your interest levels in a sense of getting a trick solo? Are you more likely to keep trying relentlessly to try and get this trick? Or are you more likely you're getting frustrated, you're just going to leave it, go and do something else, and then come back to it?
This is what I was going to say as well. Like when you stop, like if you maybe you're just not getting the trick for ages, you know what I mean, or like you're just not progressing, and it feels like that. Sometimes you're just not progressing, and that's sometimes when you stop for a bit. But then when you come back to it,
you can get it.
Like it can sometimes just like you start landing stuff again. You know what I mean? You start getting tricks and stuff, and then it feels like, oh, why did I stop? Like I just keep skating. You know?
It's like a
or something like that.
Yeah.
If you beat yourself up all night trying to hit a chord, or you're like, I'm not getting this, I'm not getting this, and see if you leave it a day and then you go back to it and you're like, whoa,
it's like
I've got it. Like your body's had time to sort of like
process
take it in,
adjust
have a little rest, and then be like, right, I'm a treat, you know.
But then it's like what Scott just said, like when you get the trick, it's like a buzz, like it's like what the fuck else can I do? Like it's just like, why was I feeling so shitty about that yesterday? Like here I am, I've just done it, like I'm.
Yeah,
especially when you're like out at the park, everyone's out and everyone's pure sitting watching you try to nail this trick, and then when you get it, because everyone knows that feeling, and they're all just congratulating you, man.
Yeah, the hype with it.
So
good. That's good.
I used to chase that feeling from my granny, the same one that the Limp Bizkit fan.
What's her name, by the way?
Catherine.
Catherine.
I literally finished like whatever I was doing. I'd be like so annoyed. I'm a bit of an angry guy. I'm annoyed about something. I'm like, granny, I'm going to go and skate behind the bingo for half an hour and try and get this trick or whatever, and within the hour or whatever I'd be on the phone to her saying like, I've got it, and like the mood changed though, like you know, the mood changed. We'd be like, I've went in there stinking vettel and I've came out like buzzing, but she was the first to hear it and like the last to like enjoy it.
The whole
it was like, so Respect to her.
What about if you don't have people to skate with, or if you can see your friends' interest losing down, or like take Battery Park for example, like if they're all going down there at the start of July, and it's for the first week in July, you're all there. Michael just opened a beer. You're all going down there. It's the first week in July.
Yeah.
Second week in July, there's 80% of yous. Third week in July, there's 40% of yous. See if you're seeing everybody else's like interest levels drop, like does it affect yours or does it push you more?
For me personally, no. I'm always just like, if I want to skate, I'll skate, and if I don't, I don't. It's that way. Do you know what I mean? It's not really, it doesn't really impact me as much, because there's some days where I like to go skate and I just want to just skate, put my earphones in, not really talk to anyone. Whereas there's other days where I just want to go out, have a conversation with every single person there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just genuinely, it's a mood thing for me.
Yeah. No, I think like sometimes I could skate alone as well, but then I just prefer skating with people. You know, I get kind of like
it's good to have someone to back you up.
Just for like, it's good to go out and have a good time.
It's that break between, I don't know, like it's a mental thing. See if you go out skating alone and it's like, if you've got tricks on your mind or something and you're really trying to push yourself, it's like a battle with yourself to try and get that thing, because you've got to push. There's nobody saying, oh, you've nearly got it or whatever. You've got to be like, I'm going to get this. Like, so it's, for me, it was always skating alone. I liked that, and I think it was like a challenge to myself. But now I've just totally went full circle. I'm like, no, I need to skate with it. Where's the boys? Where's the hype coming from tonight? Like,
I think sometimes it can affect what you're then going to do, though. Not necessarily stop skating, but like, I know for me, if it was like going to check out new places or like go to different skate parks and all that, I'd find it harder to build the motivation to go myself, rather than if we had like a full car of people going. Do you know what I mean? Then everyone's pure buzzing to go skate somewhere new. Do you know what I mean? So
I think someone said that on episode 3, and they says
I've not listened to that one yet.
They skated 20 years or something, and they still get nervous at a new skate park.
Yeah, Ross.
Was it?
No, it was Ross, because I remember him saying that. And Ross is pro. He skates for Karma. Like,
and it's like
still
that.
gets that
You get that.
feeling,
You know that. But I feel
really
like everybody knows that
to
feeling.
hear that from him.
When you roll up to a new park, you're like, wait a minute.
It's intimidating though when you.
I'm not the local here, because it's like you're not. You got to look at someone else. Be like, oh, this is your park, basically. You know, like, so that's how I feel with every park around here. I'm like, this isn't my local.
What about like, say your interest rate or level or whatever is like at an all-time low? In regards to nostalgia, would you ever go back to the place, like, or the park that you first started skating, to kind of bring that back? Or you guys say like, you like me, you listen to music when you skate. Like, imagine you're at your all-time low, you're going to go back to the park that you started at and like listen to the music that you listened to at that time. Or even like we were saying earlier, like playing the video game. Like, if you wanted, like, say, as I've said 3 times now, fuck's sake, your interest levels at an all-time low, would you like, and you really wanted to get back into skating, but it was just like the spark that was missing or something? Like, would you ever go back to nostalgia, like the same place, the same music, the same game?
A big fat easy yes, because mine started with like just DIY, just you know, like I never built the same thing. I think for like a whole 6 months I tried not to build the same thing twice. So I would just turn up and be like, right, this crate's going there, and like I say, I packed it all away. But that meant that when I turned up, it was a fresh
blueprint.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm gonna put this there today, I'm gonna put that. And when I grew up, when I said I used to watch the boys, the older guys skate, that's all they did, because there wasn't a skate park for miles anyway. There wasn't one in my town. And growing up, they would just had to build these ramps. And I'd be like, these guys have just built. Like, I'd be watching, like, my mate would be playing Tony Hawk's, and I'm going outside, and my friends are building ramps like that. So for me, I'll always take that, because I mean, I'm sure we'd like played with a metal bar at the battery.
We did. Going down the stairs and a couple of cement
or something. Every time we turned up, we'd be like, pulling this big metal bar out, putting it on different places and stuff, and it was just spicing up.
Oh, actually, I've seen videos of that. It's just clipped. I did see that on Instagram.
There was Jordan who like 50-50'd off like a 3-step, because that was hanging all the way over.
Just sitting on it, and it was like, you just put things in different places, and that's, for me, I'll always go back to that. Like, you just make it your own, adapt it. You know?
The other side of the coin was the note as that one was nostalgia, then that one's reboot. Like, what about same situation, 4th time, your skating's at an all-time low. You just went to a new park, played new music, met new people. Like, do you think that would be a good thing to like get the interest back to
I
the
think
start.
so. It's good to go somewhere like new, like fresh as well.
Kind of feels like a new chapter in your book, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like just going to try new stuff or go from there.
And it makes you try new stuff as well, like different obstacles and stuff. We were talking about this like the other day as well, like when you actually push yourself to go like
just
elsewhere.
As soon as there's somewhere else, you're like,
you try.
Wait a minute, I could get that on that. And then you go back to your old park and you're like,
and you start implementing it
you
there.
get into
I've not been doing that.
It's the routine of doing the same thing over and over in your own like place. Yeah,
that's when I love when people come down to the Battery that aren't from there, because you see them opening up all these new doors and you just like, and you're like,
so even as a local, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think on a note of that though, I'm only just seeing the benefits of skating new parks, because I'd only skated a car park, then the Battery for almost 2 solid years. It was a car park and a Battery, and that was my whole life of skating. And then now I'm like Loading Bay, Kingston.
You're all over the place.
Just trying to mix up and see every time you hit a different park, you're like, bloody hell. You know, you come away from it like, that was amazing. Like every time I'm like, this is amazing. Better than the last, and it's just because it's a new park, it's just something fresh.
No, definitely, I agree with that.
Skate wise, what's the plans for the rest of the summer? Is there a park you want to go to? Is there a trick you want to get down?
I want to get up to that park that you go to.
Oh, definitely.
Everyone needs to come down to the friggin' borders.
What's it called?
I'm not telling you. No, but it's actually a really sick park. Where I was originally from, so which is Kelso. They had, when I was growing up, I stayed in Coldstream, which is 9 miles away. But anyway, that's the closest skate park. They had a quarter pipe, a little dinky fun box, and a rail. So that was, you weren't wasting your time going over to that. But then the year I moved up to Glasgow, they decided, oh yeah, we've got permission to build this luxury skate park. They built it. It's so good. It's just like every new skate park, slick, big. And the thing about the Borders is it's always quiet. So there's you get a couple of kids, but they're there 10 minutes, and their parents are dragging them away.
I see, it's just empty. It's literally just you skating it,
and it's like it's untouched with graffiti, which a lot of people, they like graffiti and stuff, but there's something about it being clean, quiet, and just like you're out there in the middle of this field, and it's good.
Yeah.
So Kelso, hit that up, guys.
Get down there.
Some clips on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I've not really got anything planned as such. The only thing I could really say is potentially starting a skate clothing brand. That's kind of in the works that I'm working on, but I've not really got a date as to when that's starting. You can see I've got one t-shirt now. But
that is so cool.
No, that's kind of Float Clothing Company. But that's kind of in the works at the minute. So hopefully within the few next coming months, you'll start seeing bits and bobs of that sticking about places.
That's sick, man. That's class. Yeah. Have you got like stuff lined up, like hoodies and that, or like that you're thinking of?
At the minute, it's more so just going to be like tops. Eventually, it will go into hoodies and trousers. Cool. I want all that sort of stuff, and accessories and all that. But it's just got to start small. Do you know what I mean? Got to start somewhere to begin with. Yeah. So I can say that to anyone wanting to start an idea or thinking about doing something, just do it. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, 1000%. Just do it. Just do it. This is one of the first things in my life where
you've just done it.
Yeah. I mean, I've written so many books, started so many bands, written so many movie scripts, like everything. Like, and it was always just the same shit. Like I would do it, or when I used to smoke, like I get high and I get really into it. It's up to like 4 o'clock in the morning every night working on it, and then like nothing would happen.
End up like stop smoking for a while. Kind of, what was that?
I forget about it. But this was the first thing where I was like Christmas last year, like, man, it could work.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the wheels got really rolling with this.
Looking into it, and then I was like, right, if like that pandemic like taught you anything about how life isn't what you think it was and who the fuck saw that coming, I was just like, just do it. Like, what's actually the worst that's going to happen? Like, just do it.
Just try it out.
And I know that is a lot, what was the saying? Easier said than done. Like, there's money involved in it, and there's commitment involved in it, and there's a lot of hard work and sacrifice that goes into it.
Especially, you lost the page that used to be building since the start.
Which
I was like, it's like a different game when you go on your Instagram the next day or whenever, and you're like, who's been hacked today? It's like you get a message, you're like, I've not heard from that person in a while, and it's like, I'll give you £1,000 if you answer this question. You're like, oh, I don't think that's something you would say.
Mine wasn't anything like that, because like I had said in that post, like, I had nightmares sometimes because I was working so hard on this that the page got hacked, because like it kept happening to people.
It was. It's like these last 6 months.
It just happens sometimes.
I was saying to my friends sometimes, they're like, "How's it going?" I was like, I honestly like wouldn't be able to cope if that happened. And then like one Friday night I was like sitting in my bed on my phone and I swiped it and the whole Instagram page went white, the whole page, and I was like, what the fuck? Shit. And then the Instagram logo come up and it was like a third party is like accessing your account, and I was like, oh my god,
your nightmares came true.
And then it said enter your password, but obviously if a hacker has hacked your account, they've changed your password. So I started entering the password and it was like no, and I was like, I cannot.
That's
I cannot,
so bad, man. That's
and
horrible.
honestly, like I haven't like cried in years, but I could feel the tears coming up, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like I can't believe it's happening. And it was even worse because I went straight to bed. I like pulled the covers up and went to bed, and then the next morning I woke up.
Definitely thought it was a dream. Yep.
Oh, I know.
And then it started all over again.
The same sort of situation. Someone I'd had on my page for a while messaged me and says, "Oh, bro, I've worked really hard on this. Hope you enjoy it." And it's like follow the link.
One,
so I clicked on it and I was like, and it came up an Instagram page, like the login page, and I went, bro, why do I need to log in to my Instagram to look at this thing that you've sent me? He's like, oh, just follow the link, it's fine, it'll just be Instagram being funny or whatever. And I thought, I literally replied to him, nah, bro, like just being like funny with him, do you know, like being like, nah. And I think 2-3 days later he was like, I worked really hard on that, can you not just and I thought, you're in there, like what are you up to? And I was like, bro, I'm not putting my Instagram password into that. And he's like, oh, okay then. And then about I think I deleted him, but he obviously still had me. And about 2-3 weeks later, he's hit me up. He went, just finished working on this. Hope you enjoy it. And I was like, bro, find something new, man. Like that's not because I was just so aware though. Like for me, Instagram has become like a massive thing. I don't know what it is, but it's like a personal thing. But at the same point, it's like every time I get something new, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put that on there and whatever. So I'd be the same if I'd lost like the last 2 years of what I'd started on, then I'd be really gutted. And I already can't remember my password, so I dread the time when I've got to log into another phone or something, when I'm going to be like, oh, that's actually me. It
was even stuff like I'd like planned for, like, because it happened like 6 days before the first episode was going out, and I honestly was like, I'm done. Like, I think I'm done. I think I actually might just send. I honestly was thinking I might just send the episodes to the people that have done it. Like, I just can't start this again. Like, I cannot.
It must have been like that,
start
but
again. Like, I don't have it in me.
I think
like,
what it's done though showed you like who the real people are though. Do you know, like amongst the followers and people that are sharing the stuff now, it's like it's fizzled out all the PA, like the PR stuff. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like fair enough, you've got to put it out there, but this is like. The people that are going to listen to it are the people that are sharing it right now that are on the new page. So that's my one thing was like, well, you know, people still know, do you know, like everyone that's on the episode, everyone's going to be sharing it that's on it, it's still going to, I think it's going to do all right, and I'm glad that you kept it going, and I'm glad we didn't get the message saying by the way,
we're cancelling this.
Sorry guys, we didn't make it.
God, it was a bad one.
But no, I think that's hats off to you for pulling it all together.
100%, man.
Keeping it going, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Raise a glass if you're just drinking water, guys.
Drink my water. Ching.
I will post that April and Phil video because that was one of my favourite things. I never posted it on the new one because like the buzz was gone, everyone had seen it. That was one of like the best
ones. That's a good thing to have. Because
I really didn't think they would do it, and then when it came, I was like,
is that not like the second last post or something that you have on the page?
It ended on that. Yeah. But I was like,
but have you? A lot of people are getting their pages back. So I don't know if it's maybe something.
I think it's gone too far now. That
like I say, it's got rid of everything. Like the people that are there are there. Like
the really bad thing actually that I only found out last week was I'd ordered. I'd spent so much money on it. I'd ordered 50 A3 really glossy posters
with that name on it.
All had the Instagram handle. But then the even more important cost on top of it was 50 hardback A3 envelopes and to post all of them. So there's like £150 like shaking here. And I was like, so I sat one night like 2 weeks ago with a permanent marker.
Did you just got to score the picture? That's original though. That's if you get one of them, you've got to save it.
I know. By the way, thanks to all the skate stores. I mean, there's 50 of these that have been sent out all over the country. So thanks very much to all the people that have put theirs up so far. It goes a long way.
Yeah, I've seen them popping up in places as well, which is good to see.
It's good. But at that point of the show, I'm going to ask everyone's favourite question. What's your song of the day?
I'll go.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah.
Mine is. I'm going to take because I thought Scott was actually going to steal mine.
No, I'm not going to steal.
I introduced him to this rapper about a week ago, maybe not even more than that, and the boys come back in his car and he knows every single word. And I messaged him today and I was like, you better not even try and steal my song. But so mine is, I think he's actually from New Zealand, maybe Australia, could be wrong. But he's called Chillin' It, and the song I'd choose is Overkill. So
Cool.
it's sick. That'll spice up the playlist a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine's is Sick Shit by Together Pangea. I couldn't remember the band's name, but
cool.
that's what, like, that album's really good. But it's a good song. Good hype song for skating as well.
I think my song of the day would be Blank Canvas by Slicks, purely because it's just, it's my pals. It's one of the boys we skate with.
Yeah.
His band, Slicks are just...
Big up
Big up
Slicks.
Slicks.
Big up Scott, the next big Scottish band coming out, and their music's amazing. If you've not listened to it, definitely
Slicks was
go
gonna
check
be
it
my
out.
plug.
Yeah, check it out for sure.
Bet you to it.
Yeah,
You did.
I think mine this week, I mean, I'm just kind of like following the same path. It's my pop punk, like early 2000s vibe that I'm kind of like keeping recurring on this playlist. Fat Lip by Sum 41.
Nice.
I think I'm going to go there. It's just like just like an image you have of that song, like it's spring break. It's like sunny and it's beers and
It's
it's
carnage.
Yeah.
I used to love when that came on Kerrang.
Oh.
Literally, like you would just see them is that the one in the shop?
Yeah.
Starting beatboxing.
It's just such a time, like I just love music from that time. It's always like happy memories, like thinking back to that time. But speaking of plugs, do you guys want to plug anything?
Slicks.
I mean, Slicks for sure, yeah. But Manos is...
There's a guy.
I'll plug Float Clothing Company.
Yeah.
You can search up on Instagram at the minute. There's nothing really happening. Just at Float CLO, and you'll see it there. It's a big frog. You'll know when you see it. Put it
We'll
that
drop
way.
the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Check
the
out
description.
Slicks music.
Mm-hmm.
Can we also shout out RJ? He's a rapper from Greenock, local guy.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
He's big up on the
Absolutely.
scene. He's one of my best pals as well. So yeah,
There you go.
all local.
All
local,
local
keep it
boys.
local.
Good local boys.
I'm going to plug a website I found this week. It's called www.avrillelavigne.com.
You just found that this week.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
What
is it good?
content on there.
Oh no.
But yeah, another episode. Thank you so much to you three guys for coming.
Thanks for
Of
having
course,
us.
thank you so
You
much,
are
man.
welcome
Really
back
appreciate it.
any single time. And to end it, we'll just plug Battery Park.
Yeah,
come
definitely.
down. Come
We'll see
down.
you there.
It's good fun.
These guys are down there a lot.
It's a good laugh.
These guys are down there a lot. As we said at the start of the episode, the scenery is nice. Like, it's a clean park. Like, genuinely, from people that have seen skate parks all over Scotland, this is just a nice park with nice people. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
get down to Battery Park.
Come on down.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for tuning in for another episode, and we'll see you next week on Bored to Death.
Goodbye. See ya.
Bye.